Wild mystic stranger. Shelley in Italy. Departure. Dover, March the 12th, 1818. 5. Percy was dying, swiftly, of consumption. In 1815, a doctor diagnosed. In a letter to Byron, the presumption is aired that his ailments, Percy now disclosed, were worsening and could no longer be opposed. At present I'm so ill, he wrote, that great care will at this be needed, it has been supposed, to prevent me dropping anchor fair and square in the place where the grim Reaper keeps his lair. In her note on Shelley's poem Alastor, written in 1839, Mary remarks, "In the spring of 1815, an eminent physician pronounced that he was dying rapidly of consumption. Abscesses were formed on his lungs, and he suffered acute spasms. Those famous spasms were to continue throughout his short life, but they were very probably not due to any onset of tuberculosis." In an earlier section of the same note, Mary mentions, and we know she was always critical of these particular whims of his, physical suffering had also considerable influence in causing him to turn his eyes inward, inclining him rather to brood over the thoughts and emotions of his own soul than to glance abroad. However, in the very next sentence of the same note, Mary backtracks almost completely. Suddenly, a complete change took place, and though all his life he was a martyr to pain and debility, every symptom of pulmonary disease vanished. His nerves, which nature had formed sensitive to an unexampled degree, were rendered still more susceptible by the state of his health. His nerves, was that it? And yet here is Percy himself, in a letter to Byron dated September the 28th, 1817. "My health is in a miserable state, so that some care will be required to prevent it speedily terminating in death. They recommend Italy as a certain remedy for my disease." That settled the issue then. Of course, Italy. It would have to be. Midst others of less note came one frail form, a phantom among men, companionless as the last cloud of an expiring storm, whose thunder is its knell. He, as I guess, had gazed on nature's naked loveliness, Actaeon-like, and now he fled astray, with feeble steps, o'er the world's wilderness, and his own thoughts along that rugged way pursued, like raging hounds, their father and their prey. a pard-like spirit, beautiful and swift, a love in desolation masked, a power girt round with weakness. It can scarce uplift the weight of this superincumbent hour. It is a dying lamp, a falling shower, a breaking billow. Even whilst we speak, is it not broken? On the withering flower, the killing sun shines brightly. On a cheek, the life can burn in blood, even while the heart may break. His head was bound with pansies, overblown, and faded violets, white and pied and blue, and a light spear, topped with a cypress cone, round whose rude shaft dark ivy tresses grew, yet dripping with the forest's noonday dew, vibrated as the ever-beating heart shook the weak hand that grasped it. Of that crew he came the last, neglected and apart, a herd abandoned deer, struck by the hunter's dart.